Okay, so the next play we want to talk about is another play with a lot of big play potential out of the gun bunch halfback strong, and that is the play verticals. Now, there's a couple different ways I like to run this, but both of them have to deal with the bunch side being on the wide side of the field. So we're on the left hash, we have the bunch on the right. If we were on the right hash, we would come out in this flipped and have the bunch to the left. So the first setup is going to be to max protect, LB or L1 up on the right stick. Then we're going to streak the tight end and then drag the X receiver. And then we're going to motion out B. Now, what's good about this is this mimics one of the setups that we had out of the previous play, the wide trail, where we had the max protect and we motion the guy out, which is good because, you know, we have, they won't exactly know which setup we're running because both of them have to deal with motioning a guy out. So that's important as well. And the thing I love about this versus like a cover 3, if there's no type of cloud flats on the field, if you're playing like coverage that has like purple zones on the field, you're going to be able to just quick pass this wheel route for a nice gain. And then, of course, you want to try to, as soon as you catch it and there's a defender near you, juke. And you see how we turn that into such a bigger gain. And that's just something that's really powerful this year, is just juking directly after the catch in the open field. A lot of times you make guys miss like that. So, again, for people that like to run a lot of cover 3 and they don't like shade down or shade up, they just run regular cover 3. This is just a deadly quick pass. You throw it right as he cuts. Again, use that juke right after, and you see what we're doing, just turning it into an extra 15 to 20 yards. So that's one thing I really love about this play versus cover 3. But then, you know, let's say maybe they have cloud flats or they go over there to manually watch that. This drag is such a great underneath check down. It just gets wide open, and then you just want to kind of cut it upfield. You see there we got about 8 yards. You can let it come a little bit further to the other side of the field if you want, but that's usually what I try to look for there. If the wheel isn't open, I'm going to go with the underneath route, and a lot of times users are going to worry about trying to guard the crossing route, even though standard cover 3 does a decent job against it. When people see the crossing route, that's usually the route they're going to cover. Most people aren't going to cover drags. They might jump to the drag for a second, but they always bail out and look to guard deeper routes. So the drag is going to always pretty much be there for you as an underneath read. But what I really love about this play is against cover 2, because this play really can destroy cover 2. So when we motion this guy out, he's going to clear the cloud flat, and then the streak is going to kind of keep the safety in a place where he has to respect it, and then we can just pass lead this to the sideline, and we go for the possession catch. And this is going to be a really good cover 2 beater. This was a really good cover 2 beater back in Madden 17, if some of y'all might remember, and it's, you know, the same old setup is back this year. It's really good against cover 2. Of course, you have the drag as well. If you don't want to wait for that, or you feel like you have to dump it off quicker, you hit that drag and you're going to get close to 10 yards, like 7 to 10 yards pretty much every time with that drag. But that is not all, so we're going to keep running it. This is, if you're playing someone who runs a lot of cover 2, this is a setup you're going to want to go to quite often. So another thing you can do is pass lead. We got hit with a really crazy block shed there, but you saw Ben Watson, the tight end, was just streaking down the middle, just wide open. He's actually a better option on this than the wheel route. The wheel route's good because it's harder to guard. You know, a user defender might try to take away this tight end route, but if they don't, you pass lead that inside, and I mean, just look, if you have a fast tight end, that's a touchdown. Ben Watson's not very fast. If you have a Travis Kelce type guy, you know, you're going in for a touchdown there. Now, they might, you know, some people might drop the middle linebacker back in a deep blue, in which case that would render that route useless, but, you know, that's okay because we still have the wheel route, we still have the drag underneath, and you're going to also have the crossing route usually against cover 2. It's going to be kind of a tight window, but you're going to usually be able to get this to the sideline like so. It's usually going to be a linebacker that tries to match with him, and he's just not going to be able to keep up with it. We'll show it one more time. Cover 2. We'll even go ahead and drop this guy back in a deep blue just to kind of show you some people online may do that, which will take away the tight end. The tight end is definitely the biggest gain on the play if they don't drop the deep blue, but if they do that to take him away, you still have the wheel route, you still have the drag underneath for a nice 7 to 10 yards, and you still are going to have this crossing route. And you see there, he didn't even match him, and I think when you drop the deep blue back, that kind of makes that linebacker not match him as much, maybe. That could be a thing. So if that guy doesn't match him, then he's just butt naked wide open, which is even better. But even if the guy does match him, you're going to have outside leverage on him. Now, if they were to play man versus this, let's get the setup here. If they were to play man versus this, your main 2 reads are going to be the drag and the RB route. Now, Michael Thomas isn't the fastest in the world, so he's probably not going to get... I mean, that's a ridiculous block shed there. That should never happen. That's just ridiculous. So anyway, Michael Thomas isn't the fastest wide receiver, so he might not get a lot of separation with his drag. If you're playing Ultimate Team, you'll typically have a faster guy there with good route running, but this crossing route is usually going to toast his man, and that time the defender played it pretty well. But more times than not, I mean, Ted Ginn's not like an amazing route runner or anything like that, but he's usually going to get wide open. As you saw the play before when we got hit. See how wide open he gets? That's usually what's going to happen. Every once in a while, the defender might stick him good. I mean, that's kind of how Madden is now. Even man defense once in a blue moon will play good, but usually you're going to get that type of separation, and you're just going to kind of pick between the drag or the crossing route. Like I said, Michael Thomas really isn't fast enough to create separation over there, but you're still going to have the crossing route. But also, most people aren't going to play man online anyway. It's just not something that people do. So that's one setup out of this play. Now, the next setup, what I like to do is I want to block the running back, and then I want to put the X receiver on a drag. So kind of similar, but we're not, with this setup, we're not streaking A, and we're not motioning out B. And what happens with this is a lot of times you're going to, like for cover 3, for example, instead of quick passing the wheel route to the outside, what you're going to do is you're going to have a nice quick pass to the tight end on his wheel route. And again, as soon as you catch it, you want to go straight for the juke. And you can see, I mean, Ben Watson is not even good at juking, but when you just juke right after a catch, a lot of times you will get extra yardage. If you have a defender close, you will make him miss. So that's a good quick pass there against cover 3. Also, of course, as you know, I mean, this is wide open underneath. You're going to take this up the field. I mean, we got about 12, almost 12 yards there on a drag. So it's very, very tough for, your defender. He has to kind of pick his poison with these type of plays, especially with the other plays we have in the formation as well. It can make it very annoying because if we think about the wide trail play, they have to worry about a corner route. They have to worry about, the post route. They have to worry about the angle route. Now this play, you got to worry about wheel routes, drags coming underneath, a deep cross. There's just a lot to worry about with this play. Now here is a cover 2, and you can pass lead this inside against cover 2 as well. Once he clears the defender there, you're going to be able to pass that inside against cover 2, which is, again, just, I mean, there's a lot of things on this play that just absolutely destroy cover 2. So even though he's not on a streak, you can still pass lead him inside. Again, you have the crossing route. You can see the linebacker tried to match him, but you're going to have outside position every time. So that is verticals. That's basically how I run it. It's a cover 2 destroyer, but it's also really nice against cover 3 as well. Like I said, definitely if you're playing someone that uses a lot of cover 2, you're going to want to use both of those setups and really pick them apart. But if they're in cover 3 or if they're in man, you still do have nice options that you can go to with this play. So that is verticals, and then we will see you on the next video breaking down the next play.